Alan, we knew it was going to be a tough game today with Doncaster riding high second in the league, but that was some result.
Yeah, it was some result, and perhaps could have been better. No disrespect to Doncaster, they came and played, and we knew they would, and they had a few changes, but they got such a strong squad. You know, Brad A instead of Tally was outstanding, and Boas isn't a bad replacement for Jono either, is he? So, you know, it didn't weaken him in any way, and I just, you know, I said in the week we focused on us. We had a game plan, and I thought, you know, 60-70% of the game we executed that well. I think we can be more clinical and ruthless, especially towards the end, because our defence was so good. We were forcing errors, and they had to come out and play and try things, and made errors. And yeah, we can be a bit more clinical, even picky. But you know, an outstanding first 30 minutes, and I thought we managed the second half pretty well as well.
We went 16-0 up, and I wouldn't say that we looked as though we were going to go ahead and win the game there and then, and Doncaster managed to get a foothold in the game the back end of that first half. Is that something that we need to look back on and just see where the brokers a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. We definitely can do. I thought what I was glad is, you know, something that we'd learned from when we played them away was when we were on top we scored points. Couple of breakaway tries, Miles' try was outstanding. I just felt we invited the pressure. Nothing kick. Miles tried to catch it, didn't he? And that's probably his youth and his inexperience. Let them catch it, and they probably don't score those eight points or those two tries. Then they score a try, and then we kick off to them, give a penalty, and then they score on the last play. So it was self-inflicted, and you can't give a team of that quality, you know, those opportunities. But listen, we started well. We knew we needed to, and we did as we asked. A couple of tries off things we worked on in the week. We could have scored a couple more. Jimmy probably could have got over, and the kick where it just bounced. You know, it was an unfortunate bounce for Mason, and we want to get him in the game and use his speed. So there was areas at half time we discussed. Doncaster don't go away. They've come back against Oldham. They'll keep fighting. So it was important that we got on top in the second half, and I think from minute one in the second half we controlled them really well. Our ruck control was good and our scramble D, and I think if you want to see what this team's about, is that chase back at the end. You know, we probably coming from should have scoring, but we didn't want to let in the point, you know, and I think Steve got over there and Jimmy got over there, and that just shows what this group's about. So very pleased, very proud, and I'm very happy for our supporters and our board. You know, I don't think we won games like this, you know, historically for a couple of seasons now, and for us to do it, you know, there's some suffering, and let's enjoy it. Let's make sure we enjoy today, because we all deserve it.
Yeah. And is it pleasing that this is the second time we've played Doncaster now, and you've had 2 second half shutouts against them, even though they went in probably on the front foot, having scored those late tries in the first half?
Yeah, definitely. I think the second half mirrored the second half from the keep mode, but I thought today we had Matty, we had a little bit more chemistry in the team. It wasn't round one, and obviously they made a lot of errors as well, which helped our cause. But you know, Matty come up with a massive 40-20, didn't he? And a try save, and we just scrambled. You know, we weren't perfect. You're not going to be perfect every week. There's no perfect game, unfortunately. But what a contrast, you know, from going out, you know, our last home game going away against Cornwall, and probably a few heads down in the supporters and thinking to a high now, and that's sport, high and lows, and that's why we've just got to make sure we manage them and try and stay in the middle and have some critical thinking at times, and question some of them thoughts or things that, you know, we do think when we're, you know, rash after games, you know, or poor performances. So, and we'll do the same after a win as well. We'll have a look, we'll review, we can be even better, and I think that's a promising sign as well.
With Dewsbury and Oldham, who haven't played today, still to play here later on in the year, does that give you a bit of a blueprint of how to play against the teams that in and around that top 4?
Yeah, definitely. We know how to play our pitch, we know it's a strength for ours, and we've recruited around that. We've got a big pack. listen, Dewsbury, if we give them, or Oldham probably some of that ball and field position, they'll do what the same Doncaster did to us today, and they might not make as many errors. So we've got to be better. But in terms of our effort, the way we controlled the ruck, the way that we took our chances, especially in the first half, Harvey Ellis getting over Miles, great try, and Jack Render's try was awesome, wasn't it, with the catch from the kick. So there was all those things, and Miles breaking away at the end. So there's all things to get excited about. And look, you mentioned them two teams. We've got Midlands away next week, and that is our initial focus. I know it's an average old saying, one game at a time, but we don't want to be beating Crusaders away and beating Doncaster at home and then slipping up next week. And that's no disrespect to Midlands, because by all accounts they've really pushed Dewsbury today, and that means that Mark's gone in there and they start listening to him, and he's had, it's a 3-week rule really with coaching, that it's about 3 weeks before you start getting things, and they've obviously done that today, and they pushed them all away. So we'll get that one prepared for, and hopefully go there and perform, and then we'll concentrate on those other 2 home games that you mentioned.
And obviously it was always going to be the tough games against Midlands, particularly on their own patch, although it's not their own patch that we're playing on
we're not going
this
there
week.
Today.
Yeah. But obviously off the back of the result that they've had today, where they'll probably be coming off disappointed, having been in front for what seems like the majority of the game, do we need to again just make sure that we defend right, and not give them the opportunity to march downfield?
Show our culture, show our standards. They're getting players in now, and loans and signings, or they want to finish the season strong, and they might sniff at a playoff spot. You never know, and it just takes that one win and that performance. They'll be strong next week, similar to when we play Cornwall off the back of a good performance against Dewsbury. The teams are raising the game against there's nothing to lose, and they'll raise the game, and we've got to realise we're sat in third now, and we've got to sniff a second, and teams are raising the game for us. So listen, we'll prepare just the same next week as we have for this week, and we'll pick a team accordingly as well.
Congratulations on today, go and enjoy the win, and hard work starts for next week now.
Yeah, cheers mate.
Cheers.